Blossoms. Can't start without you in the frame.
Hello. We're doing the blog for day 90.
You're gonna have to speak up.
Sorry. We're doing the blog for day 90. We started the morning in
Ocotillo. She
California.
refuses.
I can't pronounce it.
Ocotillo.
Armadillo. And then we ended today in Pine Valley.
Pine Valley, California.
It was a 50-mile day.
So
that took us...
Piece of cake, right? 50 miles? No problem. We do that in our sleep.
It took us
9.5 hours of pedaling and 10.5 hours of total travel time today.
For two reasons.
First reason is that it was about 5,000 feet of climb today, from below sea level to the highest point was over 4,000 feet.
4,800.
No, 4,200. But then we actually climbed up a bunch of little 1,000-foot climbs too, so it was well over 5,000 feet of climb.
So that was reason number one.
Reason number one.
Reason number two
was this wonderful
breezy
desert breeze
that started this morning at about 20 miles an hour
and worked its way up to 40 miles an hour.
I would say we're probably sustained winds of 35 with gusts in the 40s.
Yeah. So, you know, just 30-mile-per-hour headwinds. Piece of cake. No problem.
So the first climb of the day was
the longest.
So 3,000 feet of climb on I-8, on Interstate I-8.
Yeah, we got you right on the interstate.
So it's a nice even pitch up.
Yeah. Into a headwind.
Into a headwind with two bridges.
With no shoulder.
And it was kind of in the valley, so the wind would just kind of whip through there.
Yeah, these huge crosswinds on the bridge. It was pretty cool.
So we both got knocked off our bikes.
Not on the bridges.
No.
Well, only once.
Only once on the bridge. Hence why we walked the bridge.
Yeah, so we decided to walk across the bridges.
For our own safety and the safety of others.
Yeah, so that was all right.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, it was a Sunday, so traffic was pretty light. Otherwise, we probably would have been scared out of our minds.
And the winds would come from every direction, so you're kind of having swirling winds, and so you'd be riding along, and all of a sudden one wind would hit you from the right, and then the other would hit you from the left. So my arms are actually sore from trying to hold the bike upright.
My back.
Yeah. Well, we finally made it through that section.
Yeah, so it was a 12-mile climb.
Yep.
And we climbed 3,000 feet, which really doesn't seem like that much.
And it wouldn't have been without the wind.
But it took us 3 hours.
Yeah.
And then we were so exhausted, we actually stopped and had second breakfast.
At 10:30.
Second breakfast at 10:30.
And then
we rolled into the first little town, Jacumba.
So we got a soda at the local market, and as we were drinking the soda, the local sheriff came over, and
we made friends. Sheriff Mark.
And then Dennis came over to talk to Sheriff Mark,
who looked like Grizzly Adams. He was like 9 feet tall and had a beard down to his waist or something like that.
And the conversation that he started with the Sheriff Mark was, I go to court on Friday.
And then the sheriff says, I hope you beat it. That charge is a bunch of BS. And I guess it was a charge by the Bureau of Land Management. And so then Dennis informs the sheriff that
oh no!
I'm guilty as hell!
So Sheriff Mark walks away for a minute and then comes back, and then a few minutes later a woman joins the posse, now collecting on the street, and she shows this slip of paper and says, and the paper says,
I want to protest. She says, I want to protest this ticket that I just received. Apparently Mark had gone over to her car, and it's the only car on the street besides the sheriff's SUV.
That you can see for miles.
Yeah, I mean this is like a town of population 4, and they were all standing there talking to us.
Yeah.
And so sheriff, and the ticket said, This is your parking ticket for parking illegally, not being able to park between the pretty white lines. April Fool's, Sheriff Mark.
But she had literally parked kind of like with the center of
Kind
her
of-
car under the one
Kind
of
of
the white
diagonally across the road with like some sort of like, nobody else is going to park here for the next 5 days, so I can do whatever I want sort of attitude.
And it was great because we were kind of beaten down by the wind and the hit climb, and the great thing too is that the sheriff then kind of checked in on us throughout the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
he
that
did. He
was
kind of like made sure we didn't fall over dead from dehydration or anything like that.
Wind.
Or, you know, Mexicans from across the border, because
We were really close to Mexico.
we were right by the border.
We saw the fence. I had never seen the fence.
We saw the fence. So the fence is real, and it's real brown.
So after our encounter with the posse, we rode 9 miles to lunch, and I was debating at that point if I was actually going to make it to the end of the day.
Yeah. So we got to lunchtime, 9 miles later from this little town. That we arrived at 10:30 at this little town, and we arrived at lunch at basically 9 miles.
It was bad. It was really sad.
It was brutal, and Jen was exhausted, so was I, and we're like, we just needed to eat, so we went in and we housed an entire, basically a large pizza and some onion rings. We needed the food.
I know.
And so, and then we felt a little better.
A lot
We
better.
had some energy.
And then the wind became kind of more a crosswind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just then the hills that we battled to the end of the day.
And
when
we
we rolled into Pine Valley,
It was like
so nice.
It was like 6 o'clock. It's 5:30 or 6 or something like that, and it had been from 7 a.m. until 5:30 basically, on the road, just getting
Beat.
thrown around by the wind, knocked off the bike a couple times, you know.
But we're here now, and
We treated ourselves to a motel today. So we got some Wi-Fi. We're uploading some blogs. We're a little past due, and showered up and had a good dinner. A couple beers. It was all right. Shower. Jen's favorite part of the day, every day. And so we're all good. And I bet you guys are expecting us to say like some of that was April Fool's or something like that. No, none of it.
I wish.
It's all real.
All right.
Anyway,
See ya.
so we're alive. That day sucked. We're going to San Diego tomorrow, which is awesome. So be jealous, except for those of you that live in LA or San Diego or other places with beaches. And we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
Bye.